Ukraine's top diplomat has raised alarm over potential Russian strikes on the country's nuclear infrastructure. The foreign minister took to social media to share intelligence, suggesting the Kremlin may be preparing attacks on critical nuclear energy facilities as winter approaches.
According to Ukrainian intelligence, Kremlin is preparing strikes on Ukrainian nuclear energy critical objects ahead of winter. In particular, it concerns open distribution devices at NPPs and transmission substations, critical for the safe operation of nuclear energy.
While specific details supporting these claims were not provided, the warning has prompted calls for immediate international action. Also, in response to the alleged threat, the Ukrainian president's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, characterized the situation as preparation for a possible nuclear disaster scenario. He urged swift and decisive reactions from Western nations and the global South to counter what he described as preparations for terror.
This is preparation for a possible nuclear disaster scenario. Russia is a terrorist. They must be stopped here and now. The countries of the West and the global South must react harshly to the preparation of terror. It applies to everyone.
This development comes against the backdrop of Russia's ongoing aerial campaign targeting Ukraine's power infrastructure, which began in autumn 2022. While the bombardments have significantly impacted thermal power generation capacity and occasionally affected dams, Ukrainian-controlled nuclear facilities have so far been spared from direct strikes. The situation evokes memories of the occupation of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant by Russian forces in March 2022, which Ukraine labeled as nuclear blackmail. Throughout the conflict, both sides have traded accusations of shelling near the plant, raising concerns about potential nuclear accidents due to power outages. Meanwhile, Zelensky said in latest post that Russia has used more than 900 guided aerial bombs in just a span of 1 week, which supposedly also includes Kyiv infrastructure.
In general, during the week, the enemy used more than 900 guided aerial bombs, about 400 Shahedas, and almost 30 missiles of various types. We need to strengthen our capabilities to further protect lives and security. Ukraine needs a full-fledged long range. We are convincing partners and will continue to talk about it next week.
The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has been actively involved in monitoring the situation, with its Director General making multiple visits to both Ukraine and Russia. The IAEA chief has consistently urged both parties to refrain from military engagements near nuclear facilities, acknowledging the inherent risks associated with potential attacks on nuclear power plants. As tensions escalate, Ukraine is calling for the establishment of permanent monitoring missions at its nuclear plants by the IAEA and allied nations. The international community now faces the challenge of responding to these alarming claims and working to prevent any actions that could lead to a nuclear catastrophe in the region.